Spoken later. I haven't thought about flying for a long time. I haven't dreamed of that moment when I was alone above the clouds for a long time. I haven't dreamed of waking up in a room surrounded in blue and green grass for more years than I could dream of remembering. I haven't walked back into the past or scratched on the doors of my origins, where it all came from, since I held up that cape for the last time.
Return to Kent Town 10th Year Anniversary Edition is a revised version of Andy N's first poetry book. The book can be purchased from Amazon and it contains numerous additional material.
Spoken Label. Hi, it's Andy N from Spoken Label. Thank you today for streaming or downloading another episode of Spoken Label. Spoken Label was originally set up on beginning of 2016 and as of speaking has currently nearly 300 sessions. The full archive is available on Spoken Label bandcamp.com. Although it is available for free for stream and download if you wish, I am always grateful for any sort of kind of donation to enable me to keep the running costs of this podcast going. And enjoy. Take care. Bye bye. Spoken Label. Very briefly, and we'll start from there.
Yeah, hi, I'm Yvonne UGarte, and as Andy said, I've been on here before, but I've been writing poetry since the age of 5. I was brought up in care, and using words, the written word was a way of me to communicate how I was feeling rather than having to talk to people. So I've always used it as a way of expressing myself, and I've been writing since the age of 5, and I'm also a songwriter, and I'm also I've written 2 novels. They're in a drawer. They haven't been published yet, but you know what it's like. Yeah, so I just enjoyed the spoken word, and I try and get out and about as much as I can before lockdown. Obviously, I run my own writing group on a Friday afternoon, which is visited by somebody from Australia, somebody from Italy, somebody from York, somebody from Bradford, somebody from all over, and we have such a good laugh. It's really, really good.
I won't need to ask her. That one's not in person.
No. Everything's online. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to say that would be online straight away. I couldn't imagine someone from Australia flying over, especially for it. So, brilliant. No, like I said, I know you, Yvonne. Like I said, you're like me in the sense of over lockdown. You've kept me so busy with your writing, really, haven't you? So
absolutely, yeah.
That's why. And then the first thing we want to talk about today is a couple of things, really. I know you were telling me, obviously, when we set this up, that you're involved with a book at the moment, aren't you? You're bringing out a children's book of poetry in the summer.
I am, which is very exciting because it was Kathleen Strafford who runs Runcible Spoon, who also published books, and she'd asked me if I'd be interested in doing a collection of my children's poetry that I've written over the last 50 odd years. So I said, oh yes, that'd be exciting. So what I decided to do is do a competition at school. I work in a primary school, and ask the children if they'd go into a competition to illustrate my book. So Kathleen chose the children's work who were going in the book. So it's going to be illustrated by the children at my school, which is so exciting.
I think that's a fantastic idea. Really, really do.
It is, and they're all so giddy. Yeah.
Oh, but the kids loved it straight away, because I know last time you were here, I remember you doing a couple of poems on your kids' poetry. And I absolutely loved them. I thought they were spellbinding. That's why when he told me that before, I said, why I'm refreshing my memory while you're on today. And I thought, straight away. I thought, what a great idea. Now, where did the idea come from, getting the children to do it then for you in your school?
Well, me and Kathleen were talking, and I said, because I draw cartoons and stuff myself, but we both decided really, well, what about asking the children at school to do it. And I've worked at school for 14 years at Beeston Primary. So I thought, what a wonderful idea. So I put it to the head teacher and the deputy, and they're like, wow, that'd be awesome. So I wrote down all the characters from dinosaurs to ballerinas that I wanted drawing. And then we just, from year 1 right up to year 6, we asked people to illustrate it and to put their designs in. Then Kathleen whittled them all down to the ones that are chosen.
Oh, wow. But the kids are as excited as you are about this book coming out then, aren't they? So,
oh, yeah.
Oh, got you completely. We're going to come on to obviously a bit more later on what you're planning to got going forward. But are you going to do a special reading for the kids at the school when the book comes out?
Oh, definitely. Definitely I will be doing, yeah. I mean, I'm already involved in, like, when the children in year 6 are doing the SATs. So, for example, they've been doing about World War. Then I've got some poems that I wrote through the eyes of a child. Imagine you were a child going through the war. So I've gone in and read these to help them when they're doing the SATs so they can get more into the character of what it must have been like.
Oh, yes, fantastic. It's such a great idea, Yvonne. It is really like to just sums you up down to a T, it does. Now, I've got to ask you now, I know you said you've been writing children's poems for a long, long time. I know you've said it yourself already. How was the selection process for this book? Did it prove a bit of a nightmare, did it? Were you going back so far with some of your work?
It did. Well, yes, because some of them I'd written like in the 70s and 80s. And it was like, I very rarely edit my work. So what I see is what I get, kind of thing. It might be that I might just put an extra line in or something, but I very, very rarely edit my work. I just write it as it comes out. I know it sounds really weird, but I've always done that.
No, of course. It's whatever that I always tend to find with poetry and any sort of writing. There is no right or wrong way with it. But like I said, your case would be like, I know I've been like some of my early works. I've got pieces when I was 10 and 11. And whenever I go back and look at them, I can be cringing sometimes. And you must have been like that when you were for the 70s. You're thinking, good grief.
I'm not, well, no, not really, because I somehow can go straight back and think, wow, I remember writing that about that elephant. And I just like to think that that's what I felt at that time. And I don't like changing it, really, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, of course, straight away. No, brilliant. So good luck with it. Keeps informed how you go, definitely. Now, I know you've got some other projects on the go at the moment as well you want to tell us about, haven't you, as well?
I have. I've got the Red Bucket project. I don't know if you've heard of that one. It's the soy. It's like they're doing an animal. It's like animal appreciation. So it's like vegetarian and, an animal welfare and compassion in farming and things like that. So I've been involved in that. Which has been really good.
Yeah, I can see it now. Yeah, I'm just doing what's termed as last second research. Yeah, I can see. Oh, brilliant. Okay, tell us about that then. How did you get involved in this project then?
Because some of the people who are involved in that come to some of the events that I've been to, like Lisa has. So when she mentioned that she was doing this, organising this Red Bucket project, would you be interested? And so I bit a hand off. And I said, oh, I would. Yeah, that'd be brilliant. So that's been really interesting. And to see all other people getting involved in that, that's been really good.
Yeah, I can understand that. Now, if people are wondering what the Red Bucket project is, I'm on their website as we type, and this is really, really last minute, even by my standards, this. But shall I read out to people a paragraph 2 what it's about, just so you know? Red Bucket Projects, and I hope I've got the right one here as well, is a small, friendly team that is passionate about encouraging participation in creative activities. We do this in 2 ways, and this is how the Red Bucket Project started for our community-based projects. Our projects highlight and encourage creativity from people who are trying to be something creative for the first time, as well as established members of the creative community. It's brilliant, this, yeah, definitely. People check them out. I'll put a link on the end of this podcast straight away with that. So
yeah, really, really good.
Yeah, what have you been helping out with this so far then, Yvonne? What have you been doing with the Red Bucket?
Well, I wrote something through the eyes of an animal. So it was about a calf being born into a field. So that was really good. And then just getting involved in what they're doing. It's just amazing, really. Listening to the people.
I think I found that over lockdown, and I'm sure you're the same, where there's been a lot more online projects cropped up, really, hasn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know I've been involved in a few bits and pieces to that over the last 18 months myself. Things that you wouldn't necessarily got involved in, would you, or would have cropped up over, like I said, yeah, definitely with that. So, over like, oh, great. Look, it looks a fascinating project. That. I'll make a note of that and put it up later on so people can look them up as well. So, what else have you been up to then last time we spoke? I know you've been in your workshop, haven't you, as well? So,
yeah, and then I'm also involved with the Staffordshire. The poet laureate Mel Woodward is a really good friend of mine.
Love
Mel. Mel.
I know Mel. Yeah, Mel's great.
When she became the poet laureate, I went down to Stafford to see her get inaugurated, or whatever that word is. It was so exciting, and I've been part of her There Is No Planet B project right from the beginning, because I'm an environmental poet mainly, as you know.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
so I've been down there and I performed for her, and she's asked me to go again with another friend of mine, Roz, who's an environmental poet. And we're going to be performing in Staffordshire in the Market Square in July, which is so exciting.
I did read about that. I was wondering if you were going to get invited down for that. Brilliant, isn't it? But it's like it's great at the moment, because obviously things are just starting to open up again now, aren't they? So
yeah,
let's hope, man, that things don't get locked back down again. But
yeah,
we'll see.
2 years ago in summer, in the 2019, I was asked to perform in Leeds Millennium Square for the climate change rally, and it was like in front of 300 people, and I was on stage. It was like, wow, that was a real amazing moment. I was able to share my words with all those people. It was incredible.
No, it does. When you get that sort of crowd, it's a great crowd. No two ways about it. I think I've done a couple of gigs like that myself, but yeah, you come off stage after. I think you've got such a buzz, haven't you? My
legs were shaking. It was like, yeah.
Oh, brilliant! No, brilliant with that. So that's fantastic. Like I said, have you got many gigs lined up then for after lockdown lifts? And hopefully, have you yourself yet, or any more outdoor ones?
I'm a bit wary. I'm not sure about the getting together as an open mic in the real world yet. I'm a bit hesitant. I have to be honest about that.
Yeah, it's understandable with that completely. I get to this.
Something exciting that I forgot to tell you is about 20 years ago, I wrote a poem about David Attenborough and what an influence he'd had on my life. Like from when he used to come into the living room and tell you about all these amazing places he'd gone to. And, I'm talking about the black and white now, before you were born, probably.
I'm older than you realise I am, that's all I'm going to say.
And so I sent him
the best way to put it, Yvonne, is I'm 50 next year, would you believe?
Wow, can't believe that. You don't look 50.
Oh, don't act it either, right?
Wow. Anyway, I sent him a copy of this poem and said about how much influence it had on my life and that. And I got a handwritten letter back. Dear Yvonne UGarte, thank you so much for that lovely letter and the lovely poem. I feel very honoured indeed that you take time out to write to me.
Oh, fantastic.
And I got a signed photograph as well. And they're both on my wall, obviously, at the moment. But that is one of the highlights of my life, that a handwritten letter from him was like...
unbelievable man he was. Yeah, strict out. The kids used to take the piss at him when I was at school. But I loved him. I had a lot of respect for the guy.
Absolutely brilliant.
Absolute strict one-off, definitely with that. So,
absolute legend. Yeah.
God. Now, to conclude then, obviously, because we're just a quick chat, we're going to talk about your poems really today. Tell us a bit more about your workshop then. You look at workshop. You say you do this on Zoom, then do you, or is it on Teams?
I do it on Zoom, yeah. And it's from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock every Friday afternoon. And we have a really good laugh. We usually have a theme. So like today the theme was tomorrow. That was the theme. But we've had everybody takes it in turns to choose a theme. So one week we had like wonky donkey. We had to write about a wonky donkey. Yeah. So that was really good actually. So we just have a really good laugh, and it's, do you know what I mean? It's incredible, really. Yeah, we have a good laugh.
I think that's the best thing about good workshops, any old person, because in a really good workshop you can come away with a massive smile on your face. And because I run one myself, and it's me, Amanda, and several friends from Speakeasy, and we have a hoot every time we meet up on Zoom.
We do as well. That's what it's about, yeah.
Yeah, I think a good workshop, you're chatting to like your friends that are writers, aren't you? And you're doing writing on top of it. So, did you ever used to do the workshop in person? Did you then for lockdowns? Has this come up because of lockdown, really?
this has come up for lockdown, and it came about through Time to Shine. So they've asked me if I'd run. They're a local group who do all sorts of different things to different people. It's like a community group. They're really good. And they asked if I'd run a writing group last year. So I said, oh, that'd be great. So that's how it started. So I've been doing it for over a year now. It's brilliant.
Wow. And a bit like me at the time, because we started ours on beginning of March last year, thinking, oh no, it'll only be a couple of sessions.
I thought it won't be long. It'll only be till lockdown and then we'll be all right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, not 15 months later, basically 18 months later. Do you envisage you're going to carry your workshop on then after if lockdown gets lifted?
I'd like to do. I know a lot of people that there was a yoga group that was running that Time to Shine had got as well, and they've all gone back into the centre to do it. But like I was saying to them, I can't get Michael to fly over from Australia or Joe to come over from Italy or whatever. I said, so I'm going to have to keep it as an online group for however the need is there, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, how do you, out of interest, and obviously you said you've got a member that comes in, one from Australia and one from Italy. How do you find these people then? Was it just look at the draw, was it?
Well, they found me because I've got my own YouTube channel now. So they found me, and Jo, she's been on quite a lot of events that I've been on, and she knows Mel. So when she found out that I was doing a group, she says, "Oh, I'm in Italy though. Can I join?" I said, "Oh yeah, of course you can." You know, so yeah.
No, that explains why. I was wondering how you do it. Sometimes you get chatting to people like that. Like I said, it's the internet's really good, I think, because it opens the world up, doesn't it? So you can get people in from other countries and stuff. So yeah, I know it's like the workshop I do is we're only local, but you know from going to our speakeasy nights, we get people in from all over the country, and that I think I can't envisage changing, George, as well. So it's just been really, really interesting times over this, some ways over this. So no, good luck with your workshop, definitely some of that.
Yeah, thank you.
If people want to join it, is it an open workshop then, is it? So
it is an open workshop, yeah. Anybody can. They just I'll just give my email address. They just join with the email address.
Fair enough. I'll put it all in there later on for you. Now
cool. I'll just send them a link then to join. Yeah,
and of course, just because people are wondering, obviously, and I'm guessing it's a free workshop as well, isn't it? You don't charge people for it. Yeah. I'd be surprised if you did, so that's fine. And obviously, we've got your red buckets thing to put up now. Is there other links that you want people to be aware of if they're going to want to get in touch with you?
Yeah, just use my email address, yvonne.beeston@virgin.net. And if you want some information about different things, I can signpost people over as well.
That's brilliant. Now, obviously, when the book comes out, is the book going to be out on all the usual bookshops and bits and pieces like Amazon and?
Yes, I'm hoping it can do. We haven't actually got all, because I've only just got all the permission slips back from parents, because obviously we can't go ahead until.
Yeah, that would have been a nightmare.
All the boxes are ticked. Yes, and some of the children, of course, left and went to high school, so I had to trace those parents and those children. And so I have had emails confirmation from them, so I've got to get copies of those as well. So it's not been as straightforward as I thought. Yeah. But you've got to cross all the T's and dot all the I's, haven't you?
Oh, God, yeah. I always look at things like when you're doing a project like you've done there. Everything you've done, you learn somewhat from it. And it's like it's great the fact that you can probably connect to children and now left that school. And everyone were thinking, oh, I've forgotten we've done that. Or the parents, they probably didn't even tell the parents half the time as well. That's what makes it even more fun. No, excellent. Good luck with the book, definitely. So keep us informed. Here you go. Okay, guys. Well, that's all I've got to chat to Yvonne about today. But thank you, Dave, for this, Yvonne. Now, we're going to move on to part 2. Let Yvonne take a quick break, and she's going to read out 4 or 5 poems for us. So see what.
Brilliant.
Spoken, mate. Hi, guys. Straight over to Yvonne. I know she's got a series of poems for us. Go for it, my friend.
Yeah, hi. So the title of my book is called My Aunt Jean's a Dinosaur. A lot of children at our school really love dinosaurs. So this is one that's in the book, and it's called Jurassic Nightmare. Poor Delilah dinosaur. She slept right through that time when all her kind had vanished from the evolutionary line. So when she woke, her little world was not as it had been. A concrete jungle had replaced the trees and misty stream. Didn't know what humans were. She'd never seen a house. And when she saw a car, she bolted, squeaking like a mouse. Little heart was beating. as she hid behind the trees. She couldn't hide the falling tears or stop those quirky knees. Poor Delilah Dinosaur felt scared and so alone. She'd lost her friends and family too, and she couldn't find her home. And she cried herself to sleep that night, afraid of all she'd seen. Then woke to find it wasn't real. She'd only had a dream. But when she told her family what she'd feared, they all cried, "Never! No wheels on tins or two-legged things, because we'll exist forever." Of course they didn't, did they?
Oh, fantastic. I always love what you're working on is the warmth in it, and that's just fantastic. I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Thank you. And this next one is one I did at a workshop, and they asked us to do a diary, like a diary entry, an entry to yourself. Well, I write a diary every day anyway, but this is about your life, really, a diary entry for you. So this is called Dear Diary. Rewind the tape of my life. 51 years since those carefree summer days that seemed to last forever. Janice, my friend, and me, we were 10 years old, jumping on pogo sticks, playing hopscotch on the flagstones, doing crazy handstands against a dad's wall, listening to our ghetto blasters, imagining we were on top of the pops with our hairbrushes as microphones. I never want these days to end, she said, as we lay on the sweet grass, eating fresh tomatoes from the vine. Fast forward the tape of my life. We are 16-year-old now, with heads full of wonder, homework, and David Cassidy. Could it be forever? Sleepovers meant a tent in her garden, stargazing as we wrapped cold hands around steaming hot mugs of Bovril, hearts and minds full of tomorrow's sunshine. Fast forward the tape of my life. We are women now in our 40s, each with husbands, jobs, and busy lives. We both lost our children to illness. We both grieved and cried the same bitter tears, though we live 100 miles apart. Each of us holding on to the empty promises of life that the world had made us. Fast forward the tape of my life. We are now 61, and life has not been the bowl of cherries we expected. We both battle chronic health issues. We both had achievement and disappointment in equal measure, yet our hearts are still full of wonderful memories and good times. We talk of our angel children often, wonder who they might have been. We reminisce those crazy, hazy summer days. Our friendship endures despite life's attempts to crush us. We still have sunshine inside us. We remain undefeated. And yet, I would like to sometimes rewind the tape of my life. Rewind, love from me.
Oh, superb again. That's quite really touching, that piece of them.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you find then when you're writing that sort of piece in contrast to your children's poems, you're flicking a completely different switch in your head, really, aren't you?
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and that's just completely different. No, that's very, very touching. Lovely. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. The third one is one that I wrote in the 80s when I'd gone through a divorce, and it's called Betrayal. So the title speaks for itself, really. It came upon me suddenly, tugging like a beggar at my sleeve. Beneath the seemingly still, calm waters of our lives, that malignant serpent of doubt lay waiting, coiled like a spring in the deep, dark recess of my complacency. I stumbled blindly on in blissful ignorance of your betrayal. Knowledge, when it came, was bittersweet, bringing tearful apologies and second chances, and yet, in that stark, hesitant newness of a rekindled flame, the fangs remain embedded, discreetly eroding our tomorrows with acidic venom.
Ooh, that last line kicks, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Wow. Grief. I'm not gonna ask any questions about that one, so we'll just move straight on. No, seriously.
And this is completely different again. I thought I'd give you a nice mixture tonight. This is about a cicada, and I don't know if many of you will know what a cicada is, but let's just give you a hint of who he is. The tiny droplet of rain fell from the spindly branch of the old oak tree. Slowly it fell, cylindrical and clear. Slowly. Beneath the huge girth of the tree was a whole new microworld, and the cicada larva was awaiting after 17 long years under the earth. He could smell the raindrop falling. One tiny raindrop awoke his senses, alerted him that this was his moment, his time to shine. The raindrop hit the ground, and the splash was audible to all the microworld beneath the soil. Here then was hope in his thirsty world.
Oops, sorry. Great stuff again.
17 years ago, he had fallen to the earth as a nymph and buried himself beneath it. Now he climbed out of the ground on 6 wobbly legs. His destiny was clear. Using all his strength, he climbed up the giant girth of the gnarled oak tree, as his ancestors done. And he could smell the sweet sap, and he knew he needed this for his energy. He stretched out his new wings. Why did he have to wait so long to restore his energy and return to this alien place above the only world he'd ever known? His voice was loud and plaintive as he celebrated his new life, his short but glorious new life.
Wonderful. Now, I an apology. I cut in then for halfway through. I realised, and I thought you finished the poem when you paused, so I do apologise for that.
No, don't worry.
A brilliant piece again. That song you've delivered a really varied poetry set out today as well. So
yeah, thank you.
I think you're going to do one more, aren't you? So out of 5, aren't we? So
yeah.
We're on to the big conclusion.
Oh no!
I know. Flags out.
Flags out. This is one that I'm probably most famous for, and it's one of my environmental ones, and it's called. Do you know? I've even forgotten the title now. How bad is that? Earth Song. Sorry, Michael Jackson did a song about Earth Song, but I wrote this before Michael Jackson started letting it. For millions of years since the world first begun, I've shielded your Earth from the rays of the sun, but thoughtless effusion of diesel and smoke leaves your planet engulfed in a cancerous cloak. I have no defence from released CFC. The ozone am I. Don't you care about me? You've hunted me ceaselessly through countless years for fortune and pleasure with harpoons and spears. A gentle colossus, what song can I sing? It sounds forever by the poisons you bring. How toxic that waste you pump into my sea. I'm only a whale. Don't you care about me? My ancestors lived in the dinosaur age. You view me as clumsy in permanent rage. My horn is now prized as a positive cure for your impotent men. Is it worth my life for? I've nowhere to run to. I'm no longer free. A rhino am I. Don't you care about me? I've peopled your meadows, your mountainous plains, created new cultures, brought life-giving rains. I'm only the earth, but by your foolish greed, you deny me a future. Oh, people, take heed, for I weep for creation how it should be. If your race does not care, it's too late for me. Thank you.
Really, it's great stuff on that. I really enjoyed that today. Been a really good. That's what I love about your work. And the last session we did, people should check it out from the other year. Was your set was really varied then as well. That's what I love. It's great when you see it get right in that you like.
Thank you.
You don't know what they're going to do, and that's what makes it fun sometimes. Definitely. So anyway, that's it for today, guys. So Yvonne, thank you again, my friend. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. It's been lovely. Thanks for having me, Andy.
Oh, always welcome, my friend. Always welcome. Come back on again in about 18 months, 2 years' time, when hopefully your novels might have got published by then. Who knows?
Yes, you never know.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see how we go. But thank you again, Yvonne, anyway. And hang around, obviously. I need to speak to your mic. But this is Andy.
Thank you.
Signing out, guys and girls. As Don Callis at Impact Wrestling says, stay safe and stay over.
Spoken Man.